Hi everyone, welcome back to Pro Tools music production course here at Educator.com. In this lesson, we're going to explore the MIDI. We will be looking at audio MIDI setup in Pro Tools. We will talk about tick-based versus sample-based instrument tracks. We are going to set up click tracks, write a drum beat in MIDI merge mode. We will talk about editing notes directly on the tracks, talking a lot about a pencil tool. We also talk about MIDI real-time properties and mention certain things about MIDI event lists. Let's first of all talk about setting up a click track, and this one we kind of mentioned here and there, but I want to set up a click based on some sort of groove that I hear in mind, not typing manually the number. So as you know that we can do it like right here. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to tap on the T, letter T. Okay, so 82, that's our tempo today, and manually entered right here, although I was tapping. So that's the kind of a groove I had in mind. And on this certain groove, first thing that I'd like to talk about, sample bass versus tick bass in tracks. As we covered earlier on 101 lessons, we said audio tracks by default are sample based and instrument MIDI tracks are tick-based, but can be vice versa. This is what it's telling us right here. If you go on the screen, this is a time-based selector and it's ticks, and this one is samples, but they're both instrument tracks this time. By default, instrument tracks are tick-based, but if you go on this little icon here, you can change ticks to the samples, or when you create a track on Pro Tools with the shortcut of Command-Shift-N, if it's an audio track, automatically comes up here as a samples by default. And if you wanted to create, hold down Command and hit down arrow for an instrument track, by default these tracks are ticks, but you are able to choose samples for instruments and tick-based for the audio tracks as well. So these are the options. So that's one of the examples that I have here, and I named my track tick and the other one sample. They're both instrument, both stereo instrument tracks. Another thing that we kind of didn't so much do before that I would like to apply on this course, Exploring MIDI, it's something I often used back then. I did most of the MIDI operations as far as entering note, editing notes directly on the track. Although most of these classes in the 101 course, we always went to the MIDI editor down here with this arrow. We did some stuff there. Or we were bringing the MIDI editor window directly on one of those choices right here. And we were doing most of the editings, which is, for our purposes, definitely a good idea because they are larger. However, we can actually access to the notes right here under this arrow. We can choose notes, and we can enter edit notes directly here. At this point, I'm also going to be really focusing on using one specific edit tool, which is the pencil tool. We can click on it to get it, or Command-6 will get this one. But we have a bunch of options to choose right here with the pencil tool. If you repeat the action of Command-6, you will automatically get the next one. So here we go. We got the triangle, we got a bunch of different ones here. Freehand line, triangle, parabolic, and so forth. So most of these things that we can apply, we're going to go and choose the freehand at the moment, and we're in the pencil tool. And I'm just going to put a note here. This is a percussion instrument by Expand right here. It's got talking drums. Bring it to the view. Talking drums, thunder drums, and 4 channels basically are all used right here. So this is, let's go ahead and actually 4 bars. Let's go ahead and use this one for 4 bars. Cool. I'm going to go back to the clip view, and I'm going to bring this one by holding down Option to the sample-based instrument track. So they all have the same instrument. It's exactly the same one. They're similar type of length. I just copied, apparently just Option dragged it, so it's exactly the same note, same rhythm. So, and I'd like to bring the, of course, right here. Our tempo is 82. This is our session basically at the moment, session tempo. Cool world music sounding. My gorilla track from the video examples from 101 course. It's something like that, more like a soundtrack type of thing from Expand. Pretty cool. So the example here, as we did before, I would like to actually go up this one up 2 times faster, so 82. Let's try to 164. And here we go. What happened? Something happened. Okay, so basically what happened here, if you see my tick-based instrument track, it's kind of got shrink here, and the sample-based one just stayed wherever it is, and it's like, looks like it's 8 bars now, but tick-based is 4 bars now. So basically in other words, what's really happened here when I go from 82 to 164, my sample based almost like kind of extended, but it isn't actually what happened. They really stay, it really stay where it is. Shift Command Z to show this one to you, my tick-based instrument track, since it's tied to the bars and beats, went with the double time, and it's still 4 bars. What it is, my 4 bars is twice as faster right now, and tick-based track tied to the bars and beats, so that's why it actually went 2 times faster. So it went with the double time idea, but sample-based track stayed where it is, although it's sped up as an instrument track, but the length of the note stays. So this is just another example of, if we set up a tick-based and sample-based instrument tracks, that's how they behave. So you need to make sure when you have a bunch of MIDI or instrument tracks using virtual instruments or third-party instruments, great plugins out there today, make sure you're recording everything tick-based, unless you have other reasons, because tick-based operations, they're always going to go with the changes. Okay, that's where it is now. This was just a short example of the behavior of a tick-based as opposed to the sample-based operation. So